Welcome back to the 52 Weeks to Wealth. My name is Walter Morella. We've been on this journey for the last 28 weeks. But the truth is, many of you have been with us for 4 and 5 years. This is our fifth year of building millionaires and teaching people the mindset of abundance. Now, I just said the word mindset. Don't you worry. Today is a very tactical training. Wealth Principle 28 is the principle that is going to change your life in the terms of how many people who are rich around you. Who here knows you'd make more money if you surround yourself with rich people who already had money, right? Well, the saying is that you can't get blood out of a rock. What that means is that if somebody doesn't have money, you can't get money from them. So today's wealth principle 28 is learn to love dealing with large amounts of money and the people who have it. Now, these wealth principles came to me not overnight, but while I was in Las Vegas living there, I had taken all of my books, all of my top books, and I broke down all of the principles that were inside the books. I had taken all my years of experience building businesses, 12 businesses, and I took it all and I poured it into 3 months of work. Has anybody ever done anything for 3 months and only isolate on that one thing and you got massive results from doing a single thing for 3 months? Awesome. Excellent. For some of you, it's been a while, but for many of you, you've mastered something in 3 months. And it is 100% possible because they say that if you spend 100 hours on a thing, 100 hours on a thing will make you in the top 10% of skill on that thing. Because most people will never spend 100 hours on any skill whatsoever. So this wealth principle, we're going to dive into it the same way we do with all the other wealth principles. It's designed to increase your income and increase your net worth. Show of hands if you're committed to building 100 millionaires as you build your net worth and your income. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. That's what Alchemist Nation stands for. We're here to help each other so we can help ourselves and help people beyond us. Impact is important to us. Before we get started, those of you who don't know who I am, very quickly, I did not start with money. And at one point in my life, I was not very rich. I was worth less than I was born with. I went through a divorce. I had a lot of mindset issues. I fought and struggled to get to six figures. And once I did, by the way, at my worst point, I made a promise. I made a commitment to God. I said, one day, if you just put the right person in front of me, if you just put the right team or the mentors or the books or the education right in front of me, I will do what, if I can figure it out, if I can figure out the money thing, if you can just show me the way, I will do whatever it takes to teach as many people and take them out of this pain and out of this torment that I was suffering from not knowing how money worked, not being able to pay my bills, not being able to be the man that I wanted to be, not feeling comfortable being a father, not being a good husband, not being able to provide for my family. And that God is funny. He did put people in front of me, but then they wanted me to do work. They wanted me to do things way outside of my comfort zone. They were asking me to do stuff that I was scared to do. They were asking me to pay for events, pay to go to places where they were going to tell me to do work. Show of hands if you understand. This was crazy. This was against everything in my religion because my religion kept me broke. My way of being kept me broke. Now, I did grow up Christian, and my dad did teach me the ethics of hard work, but for some reason, I attached myself, maybe it's because I was a millennial, I attached myself to this concept of work harder, not smarter, work smarter, not harder. I kept thinking there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. And I kept taking shortcuts. I kept taking shortcuts in my business. I kept taking shortcuts in my life. And that ended up with me sitting on a bucket thinking about taking my life. Now, Alchemist Nation, fortunately, comes from the idea of taking people out of a place of pain and moving them to a place of bliss, taking people out of a place of competition and fighting with each other and trying to fight for scraps to a place of creation where we create abundance, where we create businesses, we create ideas, we create inventory in the market that is competitive and taking ourselves from a place of lack, not having enough, needing more, being scared, a place of scarcity to a place of abundance where we have more than enough. And we're surrounding ourselves with people who think and act alike, positive people who want to see themselves change and want to change others. And so Alchemist Station was born out of, in the beginning, necessity. Ron and I were just lonely. We wanted to be around champions. We want to be around people who want to help each other. And we eventually surrounded ourselves with people who are smarter than us, better than us, and they've built this community to be far more than we ever imagined. So let's give everybody in the community, our leaders, a big round of applause for all the work you've done. Very special group of people are on the call today and very special people in your life. Today happens to be Mother's Day. And so for those of you who have a mother, please throw your hands to the camera. If there was a woman who birthed you, took care of you, raised you, kept you alive for a series of months, whether or not she was supportive your entire life on every one of your goals or dreams, she did get you here on some level. Show of hands if there are mothers on the call. You are a mother and you got kids that you love most of the time, all the time. So let's give our moms a big round of applause. All right, we do it for them, right? Learn to love dealing with large amounts of money and the people who have it. So this principle, it seems like an obvious thing, but what I've discovered as we've been building millionaires over the last few years is that a lot of people, what stops them from being successful is the people that they spend their time with. It turns out that I can say you should spend more time with rich people, and everybody in the room is like, "Yeah, we totally should. You're right." And then months go by, years go by. I've taught this principle 5 times. The fifth time I'm teaching this. Years go by, and still a person has yet to go and build an audience of high net worth people. And the secret to it is within the principle. It's right there within Principle 28. It says, "Learn to love dealing with large amounts of money and the people who have it." The challenge that comes with this principle is that large amounts of money seems like stress. And you can write, by the way, any feelings that come up as I'm speaking about this particular principle. This is an exercise for you to run with right now. Any feelings that come up around the word large money or large amounts of money or large sums of money, write those down because those could be useful later on throughout this principle. So people who have large amounts of money, massive amounts of money in our society, in American society, are considered upper class. They're considered to be on another tier. Now, I know each of you tells yourself that you're the same as everybody else, and yet I watch you people, each one of you, act differently around multimillionaires, around people of success, around people who own businesses. And by the way, I do it too, and I don't mean to, and I don't want to. Show of hands if we are all guilty of this. At some point, somebody of status, we acted differently. We changed how we perceived them. Our perception changed how we acted in their presence. So fans, if you do love, you know for sure, you do love hanging around rich people. You already do. Okay, excellent, awesome. Well, obviously, you're Alchemist Nation, right? You see each person as a person to learn from, somebody as a person you could work with or a person you could serve. Excellent. Well, I'm looking around the room and I do see many of our millionaires on the call. So let's give our millionaires a round of applause for showing up today. They don't have to, but they're here because they love to spend time with this community. They love the mindset. And also their stories are very cool. And it inspires us. So part of this, learning to love hanging around rich people, learning to love large amounts of money, it comes back to this phrase, more money, more problems. Who's heard this one? You can type yes in the chat if you've heard more money, more problems. Don't tell me who you heard it from, but you can also type in the chat if you've said it, if you've been guilty of saying more money, more problems, right? Because it rhymes. I hear you, Fat Man. You're like, no, I would never say that. More money, more money. More money, more fun, more money, more solutions. More money, more opportunities. But drop yes in the chat if you have heard somebody in your life try to convince you that more money equals more problems. Well, with Principle 28, we want to attack these inconsistencies. We're here supposed to try to make more money, and yet we're told more money, more problems. Well, shit, why should I do it? Right? I'm not seeking problems. The subconscious mind certainly doesn't seek out problems. Show of hands if your subconscious mind's trying to protect you at all times. I want you happy at all times. So mine is doing the same thing. So we got these little programs in the back of our heads. And also, if you make too much money, you'll be a pig. Who's heard this one? If you make too much money, you'll become greedy. You become a glutton. You become a person of, you become bougie. You become a person who's not good to others. You become greedy and selfish. Who here has watched the Christmas Carol, right? With Scrooge, right? It's like this poor guy, right? He got too much money. He became a bad man. Who here believes that if you got too much money, you'd still be pretty damn good? Maybe better. Who also believes that with more money, you might eliminate some people in your life? Show of hands if you would get rid of some people. Those are the ones who are like, they changed. No shit, they changed. I only put up with you because it was a financial agreement. That's okay. Show of hands if you could remove those people now and you'd be happy, even if it costs you some money. There's some financial challenges, but you remove them anyway. It'd be happiness. Something to think about. How do we learn to love money if in our minds we've been forced to hate money, forced to fear money, forced to be scared? And I grew up in the church. You know what the church says about money? Not all churches, but the one I grew up in was that money was the root of all evil. Show of hands if you've heard this one. Oh my God. Well, I better stay away from the root of all evil because you know what's attached to evil? Hell, which sounds like a pretty bad place to be. Show of hands if you would do anything not to be burned all day. All right, not to have sulfur on your skin. To me, I'm like, as a child, I'm like, stay away from all things that lead to hell. In fact, I was straight edge most of my life. Didn't drink alcohol, wouldn't do anything. Because I was like, I don't want any chances of hell occurring in my life. All right, so fans, if you go out of your way to avoid bad things, out of your way to avoid bad things. What if, and I want to write this down, any thoughts that are coming up for you as we're going through this principle, and I apologize, this will become a very tactical principle, but first we do have to handle some of this mindset stuff because this is truly what's stopping you from being successful with large amounts of money is the emotions. Who here has heard that energy is power? Energy is feelings. Feelings are energy, feelings, thoughts, all of this kind of leads to the results that we create. Who here has not done something because you didn't feel good about it? Anybody? Didn't take an action because you didn't feel good about it. Your gut feeling said no. Unfortunately, we may be wired wrong when it comes to large amounts of money. We may have been wired wrong emotionally, which is stopping us, even though logically, show of hands, if you agree you want large amounts of money, you're going to be a good person, and it is not evil to have money. It is probably a good thing. You probably do some charitable work. You probably help a few people. Maybe you'd throw $100 at the homeless guy instead of 10 cents, depending upon the day you're having. Type yes in the chat if you would even start a charity if you had millions of dollars coming in every day. Look at you. Yes, thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to actions, actions lead to results. Whether we like them or not, actions do lead to results, and non-action leads to results. So, how we feel about money decides what we end up doing around money. So, later on today, I will do a quick hypnosis session to help us fall in love with large amounts of money and the people that have it. Of course, during this hypnosis session, I exclude bad people. So just because somebody has lots of money doesn't mean we're going to spend time with them. Show of hands if you agree. You can be a good person and a bad person. Money doesn't care. It comes to just people who work towards it. Excellent. All right, so learn to love with dealing with large amounts of money and the people who have it. I'm going to give you some tactical practices that we can do today to get ourselves learning to love large amounts of money. Who here is ready to learn how to love large amounts of money? Excellent. So the first one that we want to do is we want to write down things that we could do with the money. Now, do me a favor, because I've been on many calls with you and other people, and sometimes, because I write down, I'll go through, I'll look at your income, and I'll say, okay, you've earned this amount of money, and you're likely to earn this amount of money. If you want to get 5x, 10x, you're going to have to want more. Has anybody been on a call with me and I asked you to want more? Show of hands if I asked you to want more. Okay, excellent. So the only way for you to get to the next level is to want more. This is what I want you to do, a shopping list. I just want you to put a shopping list, and here's what you're not allowed to do. New decorations for the house. You know who you are. I'm making fun of you. I love you. I'm sorry. I apologize. You're not allowed to tell me you want to go on vacation because here's the problem. Your vacations aren't expensive enough to go work towards. Average vacation, 5 grand, 10 grand. If your vacations cost you $200,000, sure, write that shit down. But here's the deal. I know most people would just with an extra $5,000 or $10,000 go on a few extra vacations, be super happy. 20,000, 30,000, maybe you go on a few extra vacations and be totally happy. So it's not enough. The things that I want you to write down, want more, are investments, assets, things that require big ass down payments like real estate or stocks. Or maybe you want to buy a building for your business. Each one of you has different types of assets. If you're a landscaper, maybe you're buying trucks. So fans, we're getting this. Maybe you're a marketer. Maybe you're a real estate investor and you need more marketing, you want more deals. Maybe you're going to spend $20,000 a month in marketing. That could end up being $250,000. That means you have to increase your income in order to get to that level. So some of you would need to want more things that cost money. Marketing costs money. Assets cost money. Staff, employees, they cost money. There's a lot of different things that you could increase your income simply by guiding yourself towards them. Show of hands if you would love to have all of those things you've written down. Awesome. Excellent. So write them down, the things that you want more. Now on the side of them, I want you to write a dollar amount. A dollar amount. The dollar amount should scare you. It's okay if it does. The idea is if you didn't feel fear around that dollar amount, you would have already had it. We only move towards our comfort zone. So later on, we're going to come back and we're going to work with this. So learn to love with large amounts of money. Learn to love working with large amounts of money. Imagine all the problems you have in your business right now. Think about them. All the problems you have in your business currently at the present moment. And imagine the dollar amount to make them go away. I'm going to use Melanie Santos as an example. She has 2 hires she needs to make. There's only 2 hires within her company, her organization, and she's able to step away. She's literally 2 hires away. Now she has 150 employees and 40 rental property, 40 units, 150 employees. It's probably more than that now. And 9 managers, store managers, for her Subway side, and then she's got her rental property business, 40 units. And we mapped it out. We looked at the lifestyle she wants to live so she can scale up. She's not trying to get too much time off. She's actually very happy with her life. She wants to scale up her business, though, and scale up her real estate. And she told me she tripled her real estate in the last 3 years. So there's two hires that she needs to hire. And obviously, why don't we hire people? It's because one, we don't trust them to do the work right. And then two, because they cost money. And like if they cost money, they don't do the work right. Now we're really pissed off. Show fans, if you've ever had to hire somebody, you felt both of those emotions. You're like, just want to hire the right person. So those two hires, one would be a property manager, and property manager would take care of all 40 units. She wouldn't have to worry about anything that's going on there. And the other hire would be her general manager, the general manager who manages all of the stores and the staff and the people and scheduling, because that's something she still does. It takes a lot of her time. And that probably total cost at the end of the year is probably around 100,000 for both staff members, maybe 120,000. Let's say she gives her general manager a car, a corporate car. You're talking about $120,000 a year. Show of hands if you believe that that would be a great investment for Melanie Santos. Excellent. So let's give her a big round of applause because I have a feeling after she comes back from vacation next week, she will get this done. Awesome. So Melanie is a wonderful example of entrepreneurs who need to spend a little bit of money so they can expand their money. So staff sometimes is something that you could spend money on in order to have large amounts of money coming to you. The second part of this principle is learning to love dealing with the people who have large amounts of money. So spending time with people who have large amounts of money, high net worth individuals, high net worth investors, high net worth business owners. These are the people that are the easiest to sell to. Who has sold something to somebody who's broke and sold something to somebody who's rich, so you know the difference? All right, all right. You know the difference. You know what I'm talking about, right? Drop in the chat. What is the difference? Why is it easier to sell to rich people? Drop in the chat. What is the experience been? Is it easier or harder to sell to rich people? Right? When you try to sell to somebody who's got no money, or you try to sell to somebody who's multiple six figures every year, drop in the chat. Why is it easier, or is it easier to sell to a richer person, somebody of higher net worth, than to somebody who's not? And for the capital raising here, my real estate investors who are raising capital, why is it easier to raise capital for a deal that you're doing when you're speaking to rich people or people of high net worth? We'll call them accredited investors on this call. We don't want that word rich people has such a bad connotation. Let's call them accredited investors, people of high net worth, people with large amounts of money. Why is it easier? People with wealth are more open-minded. Rich people appreciate value. This is true. Drop in the chat. What is your experience with selling to a higher net worth person, an accredited investor? While you're dropping those in the chat, rich people don't think twice about buying what they want. So true. Rich people take action. Absolutely. These are truths that we seem to know. Rich people are successful. They take action. They know what they want. They don't mind paying for things. Most poor people don't believe money is accessible, so they never present it to you if they don't have it themselves. It's easier to sell to wealthy people because they see money as an accelerator tool. Poor people attach their identity to their money. And we are generalizing. Yes, I like that, Billy. He's so politically correct. Sal says it all depends on how they need the product, but rich people pay faster. I love that. They pay significantly quicker. Third says rich people want to collaborate with people they value. This is true. And accredited investors want to put their money to work, so they recognize opportunities. So accredited investors are looking to put their money to work for them so they don't have to work for their money. So if you're in a business like real estate, in any part of real estate, the higher net worth people are the ones who are transacting more often. Now, I'm going to share something with you that was told to me by a coach a long time ago, and it has stayed with me since. He said that if you want to spend your time with rich people, he said, then bless rich people, praise rich people, be absolutely proud and excited when they have their wins, especially when they're financial. And he also said to me that if you want to surround yourself with rich people, then solve the problems that you wish you had. Solve problems for people who have the problems you would like to have. So let's do an exercise together. Let's imagine the problems that people have that you would like to have. Maybe one of those, you can write these down. We're going to write down three. They don't have to be the ones I'm giving you, but they could be in the ballpark. Let's say one of those problems is too much money. Now, if you've ever heard somebody say that too much money is kind of a problem, it could be that they're not sure what to invest in. It could be that they're concerned that their money is going down in value because of inflation, burning a hole in their pocket, literally. So these are problems that wealthy people with too much money face. Let's talk about another problem. My relationship with my spouse is so good, sometimes it's a little boring. Sometimes we don't quite know what to do with each other, and we need something to spice it up, like a vacation or a seminar or a conference or a deal that we work on together. Sometimes our relationship is just so good, and the kids are out of the house and everybody's happy and living well, that for us, we get a little bit like we got to do something for fun. Show of hands if you understand. It can be possible to have too great of a relationship where you need something to do together. You need something fun to go do together. So imagine that as a problem. And then it is possible to be in such great health, such great shape, such great flexibility, mobility, and energy that you just want to go put your body to work, doing something more challenging. You want to level up at another level. Show of hands, we can acknowledge that it's possible to be in such extreme health that you're bored with the things you're doing to get there. It is possible you may want to get to a higher level of health. So we just talked about money, relationships, and health. Well, yeah, health as a thing that could be something we would want to have in ourselves. These present problems, by the way. So, fans, if you've heard people complain about these types of problems, like, oh man, like I got too much money. I don't know what to put it in. I don't trust the investments. I don't trust the stock market. I don't trust crypto. I really want to put it in real estate, but I don't know anybody who's doing it. I'm not sure how to invest. I don't know how to use my 401k. I don't know how to sell my property to untap. I don't want to pay taxes. These are all the things that we hear constantly when we're dealing with high net worth individuals. So learn to love solving the problems for these types of people, the people who have these problems. These are the problems you want to acquire for yourself. Learn to solve problems for people who have the problems that you would like to have. It's a sentence really changed my life. It took me a little while to understand, but it's changed my life. Write that one down if you really want to. Now, the biggest solution that I've had, getting around rich people. So now the tactical point. Because in the beginning, it was like, okay, mindset. Yes, I want to be around rich people. I want to be around people who are wealthier than me. I want to be around people who have more success. I want to be around people who are go-getters, who go-givers, who want to pay for things, who want to be around people who want to pay for things. And I started looking for ways to do that. And I've researched quite a few different ways. And here's what's interesting. Here's what the rich know, that the poor sort of know, and that the middle class have definitely figured out, but don't use. It is that every single wealthy person knows how to stay away from broke, negative, scarcity mindset, like combative people. They've figured out the solution. Use the one thing that they have that broke people can't figure out: money as a wall, money as a barrier. Money protects the rich from negativity, the poor, and the scarcity mindset. Who here has ever seen an event that cost a lot of money and so you didn't go? Has anybody seen that event? That type of event? Very expensive. You're like, yeah, okay, I can't afford that. You know what rich people say when they see that event? Oh, good. I'm glad there's a barrier to entry for all the broke people because I guarantee at that price point, there will only be rich people in the room. Who here can imagine that that is a math conversation that happens inside the head of a wealthy person? The more a room or a group or a event costs, the more likely it is to have a higher caliber type of person in the room. And so the first time I learned this was with my mentor. I'm in the cigar shop and I'm smoking a cigar. I'm thinking I'm cool. I'm in my 20s, my late 20s, and I'm smoking a cigar. He's smoking a cigar. And he tells me about this event that's happening. Now, remember, I'm broke. This is 2015. I got nothing, nothing to my name. I'm in debt up to my eyeballs. In fact, my eyeballs could look up and not see the top of the debt. So I was in so much debt. I was so scared every day, terrified of how I was going to pay my bills, terrified of like whether I was going to be able, like if anybody was going to catch how broke I was, like if people were going to catch on that I was broke. And I was in a cigar shop and I'm talking to him and he says, you need to come to this event. I was like, sure, I'll go to any event. I'm a networker. I was a real estate agent trying to build up my level, like networking. Show of hands if you recognize your network is your net worth. I was saying that every day. That was my mantra. I was like, I gotta get around rich people. I gotta get around rich people. I gotta get around rich people because they're gonna spend money with me. I know they will if I just add value. And so he says, you want to get around rich people? You got to go to this event. I was like, all right, cool. Sure. He said it's $250 to get there. And I was like, bro, I don't got $250. I was like, that is a lot. And I know for most of you, you're like, no big deal. For me, that was an impossible amount of money because I had $37 in my bank account. So I knew the math of that was five times more than half of what I could afford. So I was like, not possible. I can't do this. And then he said, good, buy two tickets, bring a friend. And something in my head said, I will do it and I'll put it on a credit card. And I went over to the guy. I was like, I went to the guy who at the cigar shop who was selling the tickets. This was a networking event for the mayor. There was a new mayor coming in, and this was like a political event. And he said all the top wealthy people in the city will be there. 20 men showed up. Every one of the 20 men was the top business owner in the city. They were the top of the top. These guys owned the city. Show of hands if you understand. This was an exclusive event. Now looking back, I'm like, damn, like $500 and I got me and my buddy in there. Like that's insane value. I can't even target those types of deals. Like that's insane amount of value in that room. And I showed up scared. I showed up best suit. I was like, what do I wear? He's like, just suit up. Look good, look professional. So I did. I suited up. My buddy suited up, and went in there and we met these guys and we networked. And months later, years later, I still do business with some of the guys I met in that room. And these were the richest guys in the room. And I got so much mindset training from them. I did deals with these guys. And it was all because I was willing to spend way more than I could afford at the time to get into the room that nobody else knew how to get into. Because I was spending time with somebody who was on the inside, somebody of high net worth who was on the inside, who figured it out. And those of you who, from Fall you know who my mentor is, like what that was. Now, we did get in trouble with the mayor later on. That didn't turn out to be the best thing, the best relationship. If you're familiar with Fall politics, you just be careful of politics. So this, by the way, is the reason I don't do politics. I stay out of it. So if you're ever like, you should run for president, I'll be like, no, I want to just keep buying real estate because that makes a lot more sense to me. Show of hands if you've seen another real estate mogul get destroyed because he ran for politics. Yeah, screw that. Let's just stick to what we're good at, shall we? Let's help people the way we help people. So I learned that paying to get into a room was more logical. Now, not every room is going to be created equal, and you do have to be careful, but I will give you a couple of events, a couple of rooms that I've found consistently have high net worth individuals in them. Now, I just going to ask, as you go into these rooms, you treat every individual with respect. You're not in there to be, it's not a money grab, it's a relationship grab. It's how can I add value? How can I help you? How can I learn from you? How can I support you? The first is the Rotary Club. I found that Rotary Clubs surround themselves with charitable, high net worth individuals. Those are two really important words. Charitable, high net worth individuals. Very, very good. Any kind of charity, any kind of event where there's a charitable situation going on. The second one are business conferences or business summits, business 3 days. Anytime where people spend 3 days in a room learning business or learning sales or learning marketing, there's probably, or learning tax benefits or learning real estate or learning how to acquire businesses, there's probably a high net worth group of people in that room. Joe Fans, if that makes sense, it's because that's what high net worth people do. They're learning about business. They're learning how to scale their business. Oh, the word scale, right? When the word scale is inside an event, which reminds me, we should put the word scale in all of our events. Show fans, if you agree, we should probably make some changes. Well, now I'm thinking we should do this. Third place where high net worth individuals hang out, high net worth individuals are seen or at is the yacht club. Just one of those places. It's got a barrier to entry. It's got a cost. It's got an association with it. And fourth, but be cautious with this, is the golf course because broke people seem to get on the golf course too. Show fans, if you know, you could bring a friend. So you'll find a lot of insurance agents out on the golf course as well, financial planners. They're not as rich as their title makes them sound or their suit makes them sound. So just be cautious with that last one can be a little bit, I think it's overused and it's overpopularized, which is why people don't get it. The reason the Rotary clubs and the charities work so well is because broke people are afraid that if you go to a charity, they're gonna have to spend money on a charity. So fans, you understand, you could donate $50 to the charity and that counts. Yeah, broke people are just like, oh my God, I can't afford to give to a good cause, so I'm not gonna go to a good cause. But hey, that's where all the wealthy people are hanging out. Because their thought is I should be around people who are thinking about this good cause, but they're real like-minded. Awesome. That is a lot of value. Dorina did mention the mastermind should be something that I talk about. Show of hands, have you ever paid to be around high net worth individuals inside of a mastermind? Me too. So I went to a lot of masterminds. I spent a lot of money on masterminds, and it didn't always equate that the more I spent, the more I got. Show of hands, you've seen that in your world as well? Maybe coaching programs or training programs. That wasn't really a metric that worked out. And also, I found out with masterminds that it wasn't like the more I paid, the better quality of the room. I found that broke people could put $35,000 on a credit card or six. So, fans, you've heard of that story too. It's possible that a broke person could be compelled to put $35,000 on a credit card. So that is not always a guarantee, but what I have found is that people in masterminds tend to be more motivated. Who's discovered that? People in masterminds tend to be more motivated, they tend to be more driven, they tend to be more in the grind mindset of let me just go. And so we looked back at Alchemist Nation and our mission to build millionaires and build abundance and help people get to the next level. And we discovered that of the 38 programs we had sold, that only one of them had been used by all of our 31 millionaires that we built in the last 4 years. Only one program had been used by all of them, and that was our mastermind. And as we evaluated it, we said, let's eliminate all the other products, or at least the cost of them. Let's just eliminate all the other products. We'll still do free webinars. We'll still do the 52 Weeks to Wealth for free. By the way, 52 Weeks to Wealth is the one program that has guaranteed to get people financial freedom over time. It's the one thing that we've done that has guaranteed people to become financially free and to eventually be able to earn $10,000 passive income. Now, when I say eventually, I mean you got to go through every single principle for sometimes years, depending on your situation. Although we have had people stick with us in the 52 Weeks to Wealth and become financially free in 6 months. Show of hands if you love that concept. So, yeah, it's totally possible. It is possible. I've watched them do it right within this group. The mastermind, on the other hand, builds millionaires. The mastermind is a product that literally we built because it builds millionaires. Now, the price has gone up every year over years. And we do have a mastery program that we sell only one time a year. We offer that at the summit. But the mastermind recently, I've been interviewing some of our millionaires. I've been interviewing some of the people who we've come out of it. And yes, I told you about Melanie last week. They tripled their real estate portfolio in the last 3 years. So one more time, let's give her a round of applause. I think she gets prettier every year. I know Steve does. Steve gets in better shape every year. And I was talking to Kim Rodriguez last night, and she is absolutely crushing it. I didn't realize she's the number one agent this month in all of Rhode Island. So let's give Kim Rodriguez a round of applause. And John and Kim are looking to do $1 million of flips this year, which is totally like within their range because they just did a flip last year, but profit of like $350,000 on one single project. So there's a good chance that they're going to crush it. They've been with us for 5 years, and so not everybody hits the $1 million in year one, but Ken Ingram hit $2 million in 60 days. Now, from the point that he joined the mastermind, it was 6 months. So show of hands, if you understand, he was like just a slow guy, so totally slow. What happened was he put something under agreement, a hotel, and then at the day of closing, it was worth $1 million more than he purchased it for. He bought it for 1.8 million, and it was valued around $3 million. Now, unfortunately, the owner had to sell it at a discount because he never tracked the cash, which is why whenever you buy a hotel, you always ask for their tax statements. He never tracked the cash. And so now Ken is discovering there's an extra $100,000 of cash flow inside the property just within a couple of months. He's only owned it for a week, and he's now calculating out. He's like, there's over $100,000 of cash inside this, which bumps up the value to be almost $2 million in equity. Show of hands if you understand, he's doing okay. Now, not everybody comes in and does that. I'll talk about Ken forever and ever and ever because the mastermind is my passion. It's how we build millionaires, and it's different. And I have to tell each of you because I was on a call with Shara this week, and Shara was like, yeah, I was thinking about buying this other person's program. And I was like, Shara, let me tell you, no, you are not allowed to buy somebody else's course or program or coaching or training unless you're in this mastermind. And that's only for you if you want to become a millionaire and if you are committed to building 100 millionaires as you develop your own wealth. If you're looking to flip your way to freedom, you're looking to get financial freedom from doing flips, this mastermind does that. The members in our mastermind do flip. I still flip. If you're looking to get multifamily homes, this mastermind teaches you, shows you, does it with you. So for those of you who are in the mastermind, give yourselves a big round of applause. I love each and every one of you. We are committed to your success. Here's the other thing that people don't know about our mastermind. It's a one-time fee. all these other programs, right, Shara? It only lasts for a year. You only get the courses for a year. You only get access for a year. You get access to the Facebook group for life. The Facebook group that nobody uses. Thank you very much for the access to the thing that doesn't build millionaires. It doesn't build wealth. Show of hands if you know there's a lot of programs out there. A lot of programs out there. They just teach. You cannot get rich from information alone. You cannot get rich or wealthy or financially free from education alone. You must take action. You must have accountability. You must have a network of people who are doing it with you. I have to apologize to each of you, but I don't have to apologize too hard. The mastermind was $5,000 up until yesterday. Now it's $6,000. Show of hands if you understand, it goes up in price over time. This is just the nature of inflation. It's the nature of the game. And also, I now pay my salespeople $2,000. I used to pay my salespeople $1,000 when they'd sell it. And I realized I need a full-time staff, full-time salespeople, because there are people out there selling programs that are less than, not as high quality as what we do, and they don't promise millionaire status. They don't promise financial freedom. They just promise to teach you how to do real estate. So, fans, if you understand, the competition is not, to me, not who I should be competing with. We need to go out and be much better. So, sales team, I'm paying you now an extra $1,000. So every time you close somebody into the mastermind, every time you essentially build a millionaire by just locking them into this program, you're now getting paid $2,000. Let's give our sales team a big round of applause. And my goal, I may increase the price over time, is to be able to pay my sales team. I want the highest paid sales team in this industry. Show fans if you believe that the highest paid sales team is going to be a more productive sales team. I believe so too. So as the program goes up in price, it is only because I'm spending more money on marketing. I'm drawing more money, more people into this community and delivering massive free value. By the way, show fans, we get a ton of value just from the free stuff. You get a ton of value from the free stuff. We're going to continue to build out our free programs. We're going to continue to build out our free resources. That's my commitment, and Gary's and everybody on the team. Our commitment is to continue to deliver free. Leaders, show fans if you agree to continue to deliver for free. A lot of value, tremendous value to every one of our events. Excellent. Let's give our leaders a round of applause. Love you guys. Thank you. So that is our commitment, is to continue to deliver for free at the highest level. But building millionaires does cost us time and money. And so building out those systems, we are taking all of that money and we roll it back into marketing, paying the sales team, and developing a better tracking system for our millionaires, better resources for our future millionaires. Is that okay if we reinvest everything in your success? I love it. That's smart. I love it. Anyway, I share that because I love hanging out with rich people. I love hanging out with people of high net worth, and I love hanging out with people that will be rich. Show of hands if you agree. You are either rich or on your way, and it is inevitable. We'll say it today. All right. Drop in the chat if you know for sure success is yours, coming to you, and you are ready to drop into a little hypnosis. For those of you who are scared of hypnosis, you're like, no, no, don't hypnotize me. You can jump off now. For anybody who is open to the idea of surrounding yourself with rich people, as long as they are good people, as long as you get along with them, as long as you feel good. And if you have any discomfort hanging around rich people, hey, so did I too. You know, sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes I still get a little uncomfortable hanging around rich people. Is that okay? If it's still there sometimes? You know, because they be trying to put that Ferrari on me, like, oh man, you got to drive this Ferrari. And I'm like, I don't want to drive it. Don't let me drive it. I just want to go do my thing. I want to put all my money into real estate. So if you feel that way, it's okay. It's natural. You can also hang around people who love cars and houses and still not have to go buy them. Is that okay? If you want to put your money somewhere else, you don't have to. Yeah, everybody, all my friends do different things. Awesome. So in this session, my commitment to you is you will come out of it feeling great, feeling wonderful, feeling excellent, and attracting more high net worth people because you are becoming a high net worth person. People are attracted to those who are what they want to be, or are what they already are, or see themselves as capable of reaching to where you are going, people who are in advancement. So we're going to close our eyes. If you want to turn your camera off, I don't mind being the only person with my camera on as we're going through this next session. If you are driving, please keep your eyes on the road and focus on the road, focus on what you're doing. It's very dangerous to close your eyes during a meditation session when you're on the road. If you're operating vehicles or your kids are at that age where they could do dangerous stuff if your eyes are closed, please keep your eyes on the road, your children, or your work. That being said, close your eyes, take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in, sense that Things are going exactly the way you would like. And as you exhale, remove any thoughts that are negative or disempowering towards your success. And as you continue to breathe in, you're breathing in positivity, breathing in a color, breathing in a way of life, a philosophy, a thought that makes you feel better and better. And as you exhale, letting go of anything that may have been standing in your way of success or standing in your way of hanging around or having large amounts of money. As we go through this next set of breathing sessions, any inhale brings in positivity, health, abundance, and happiness. Any exhale removes any tension, stress, or discomfort. Continue breathing and continue visualizing, noticing now that you've become aware of the wealth inside your heart, inside your mind, that you are a person of wealth, and that wealth is on its way to you. Noticing yourself, seeing yourself, feeling yourself, hearing that wonderful sound of your laughter as you think about the old person who you used to be, how silly it was that they didn't love spending time with these wonderful, wealthy people and these wonderfully large amounts of money. Noticing now that as you spend time doing things that you enjoy, spending your time, investing your time wisely in areas that have the capacity to bring in large amounts of money, as you receive large amounts of money, notice how it makes you feel good knowing that your mission in this world is to help more people. Noticing that with every dollar that you earn, you seem to get more intelligent in the space that you're in. Noticing that you reinvest some of your dollars into your education for sure, and you reinvest some of your dollars into your network, and your net worth increases as you do that. But also noticing that you're investing in your family. You're spending some of those dollars in activities that your family has always wanted to do, but they couldn't afford because the one hadn't showed up. Noticing now that you are the one. You're the person who changes their lives, changes what's possible for them. Noticing that it's okay to spend money on your family and your friends and doing things that you enjoy doing with them that they also enjoy doing with you. And as you take another deep breath in, feeling the love and joy you have, not for money, but for what you've been able to do with it. Already thinking into the future of the accomplishments that your money has done for you, the work it's doing and the work it's done, the good work, the work that's changing people's lives, falling in love with the results of the money. You know, money itself, we're very clear. The money is just paper. It's just digital numbers. It's sometimes coins. But the results that the way you've invested your money has created impact in people's lives. The way money has been exchanged to you, right? Money is just proof of value. It's just a way of keeping score. And notice that your scoreboard is off the charts. Noticing now that you have so much fun investing your money. Now, we're not going to say you're playing with money because you don't want to play with money, but you do want to have some fun while you're working in the game, working on your passive income, working on your investments. And I've heard wealthy people say, yeah, I invested in that deal just because I thought it'd be fun to be able to say I was involved in that type of asset class. Or I really just liked the person and I wanted to build a deeper relationship. Noticing that these are the things that wealthy people say and do. They invest for the fun of it. They invest for the relationships. Noticing and feeling as you're breathing in and out, bringing in that positive mindset, that powerful abundance and truth that you are the one in your family to make the changes. Small changes, micro changes. Very easy for you because you've built your mindset, you've built your network, you've built your knowledge and awareness of how money works, noticing it's very simple to deal with. In fact, even that word, dealing with money, has a different perception for you. The more you get to deal with it, it's like dealing cards in a game. Just one more opportunity, one more chance, one more play to keep the game going. And as we think about people who have large amounts of money, notice that our perception improves. We find them to be only the best people. They're moral, they're ethical. We learn from them. We learn about health from them. We learn about better relationships, long-term marriages, developing their children. We learn their skills, the things that they've done to make sure their children were not, as everybody else says, ruined by money. their children seems to be blessed by money. The education, the experiences, the travel, the knowledge, just seeing that their children didn't have all the mindset challenges you had growing up. Feel and notice that by spending more time with high net worth individuals, you're improving your own mindset. By spending more time in the right rooms, you're improving your own chance for success. And also, like attracts like. It seems that the more you surround yourself with five wealthy individuals, the more likely you are to become the sixth wealthy individual. Now, we're going to say a mantra that is going to remain inside your head for days, years, months. The mantra begins with your name. So I want you to say your name inside your head. Say it and say it with awe, say it with reverence, say it with love for that person. Say your name inside your head again. And I want you to say your name and I want you to attach a sentence to it. Because remember, all things in life are about selling. All things in life are about higher energy, increasing your clarity around where you want to go and what you're doing, and that all wealthy people love to be sold and love selling. It's a game to them. And find yourself acknowledging that's a game to you as well. So I want you to ring your name out in your head, saying your name with love and reverence and respect. And as you're saying your name, I want you to say, is the greatest salesperson in the world, noticing that you sell ethically, you sell morally, and you sell legally, and feeling really good about selling what you sell. Now, as we repeat this mantra in your head, it's your name is the best salesperson in the world. Now, the mantra may feel weird, it may feel uncomfortable, but that's good. That's a sign that it's landing. It's a sign that your brain is processing it. Maybe a new thoughts that you are the greatest salesperson in the world. And remember, you're attaching it to your name, which is the greatest name in the world. So assigning yourself one more time, this wonderful affirmation, your name, adding the word is the greatest salesperson in the world. And as you visualize and hear that ring out and you can see it branded and blazed in front of you, you can feel all sorts of wonderful emotions and thoughts around how great people feel being in your presence. Knowing that when they are around you, they will be sold. They will be sold on something good for them. They will be sold on themselves. They'll be sold on their goals, sold on their likelihood of achievement, sold on their ability to acquire the life that they want. Notice yourself becoming the most powerful, empowering, educational, informative person in your field, in your industry, and loving selling to people who love paying you. Life is sales. Life is about the highest energy in the room. The highest energy always wins the sale, and you know that you are the greatest salesperson in the world. So as we recognize our great ability to sell, I want you to sell yourself on one more thing. Selling yourself, the most important sale ever, that you are the greatest person that has ever walked this planet, that you are the change in your family, that you're the one. You have the gift, you have the tools, you have all the resources within. All nobility, all wealth, all riches, all knowledge are already within you, and that you use them properly. As we take another deep breath in, lock that in. Remember your sentence. Your name is the greatest salesperson in the world. Exhale. We're going to come back to the room feeling great, feeling wonderful, feeling aware, clear, powerful. We're going to come back on the count of three. So one, shaking our hands around, turn our cameras on. Two, taking a deep breath in, shaking out those hands. That's right. Give yourselves a little woo. Feels good. Three, eyes wide awake, feeling like you just got splashed with cool spring water on a wonderful, wonderful summer's day. Give yourselves a big round of applause. You are the greatest salesperson in the world. I just recognized, wow, it was like a whole different room just came back at me. Bunch of salespeople. We're gonna go sell something good. Excellent. Now, this week's book of the week will be presented by none other than myself, because I think I'm the only one who has read the book, even though I couldn't find the book. Show fans, if you understand, we read a book a week, not because it's fun, but because it's the right thing to do. That's what rich people do. It's what top CEOs do. And so this week's book of the week is Am I Being Too Subtle by Sam Zell. I don't have the book on me, and so I will simply share the screen. Am I Being Too Subtle by Sam Zell. Now, this book is a killer book because Sam Zell is a billionaire. He built a $5 billion real estate business. Now, I believe he recently passed away, which is actually quite sad because in this book, he talks about so many different triumphs and so much great wisdom. And I think that for considering his level of success, he's not well enough known. He's just not known well enough, I think, in the world. But his book always talks about am I being too subtle? I think that was more of a catchy title. It's really a tactical, here's how you build a $1 billion business. Here's the mindset of a billionaire. He talks about a chapter called grave robbing, grave dancing, where he's actually dancing around dying companies and dying industries and buying up their tax credits. And he figured out a way to monetize in a scenario where the whole market was crashing, everything was going terrible. He found a way to monetize a problem and start saving some of these companies. They started saving some of the companies, putting money back into their pockets by acquiring their tax credits, which were worth significantly more, but they couldn't use them. So, fans, if you know the market is in turmoil and there's things that you could do if you started looking at it from a different perspective. Now, am I being too subtle? That was mostly, like I said, an eye-catching title. It's not about arrogance. The book really is about being disciplined, building great teams, and staying focused on your goals and always looking to add value to your investors. One of the coolest things he talks about in here is the fact that he sends his investors gifts every year. And the gifts get more and more elaborate year over year, and then more and more meaningful year over year. And that was something that I learned from it that I probably could implement significantly better. But I loved in the book that he really took time and intention into sending out those gifts to his investors. And it was a reminder of how important it is to have those relationships and think about them. So this principle went way longer than I'd like to go. I usually like to end these around 10:30. But show fans, if you got a lot of value out of Wealth Principle 28, excellent. And I am obsessed with the mastermind. I did go a little deeper in the mastermind this week. I apologize. I've just learned so much about it in the past few days, and we've been talking a lot about how it's worked, and we've just learned a lot about its progress and success. So I couldn't help myself. Sometimes that's what it is. We're going to open up to questions. Let's give each one of you a big round of applause. You've been on this journey with us. If you're just starting, congratulations. Welcome to the 52 Weeks to Wealth. And if you have been on this for 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, give yourselves a big round of applause. You keep leveling up every year in the game. We're going to unmute the microphones and go to questions. I'm going to ask for Dorina to give the first one.
Thank you. You know, I once was in the reach room for the first time ever, right? Like we sometimes step up and we appear and we buy tickets, we show up in the room that are high net worth individuals. And it feels a bit intimidating, but it's all about the questions you can ask them. So, we come from a place of go-giver and we want to make that person feel good so they can actually talk about themselves a little bit. So what would be maybe, 1, 2, 3 questions that always worked if you ask an individual who much higher caliber of, than you are currently, that will get them talking and they would feel good about themselves. Not asking for a favor, but really, what are the good questions to ask them? Tell a
That's
story. I mean, maybe, hey, how did you get here? But something that maybe not a cliche questions, because that would make a difference so they remember you.
I didn't realize Doug was on the call. Has Doug been here this whole time?
No, Doug is not. He's with Heidi celebrating Mother's Day. That's his autopilot.
Oh, it's his otter. Excellent. Yes. So questions that have worked in person when you're meeting people of high net worth. Uh, my favorite is, what are your goals for this year? What are your goals? It is, to me, anybody of success has goals. Anybody of success has things they're working on. It may not be business. isn't always business. In fact, it isn't usually business. The first thing that they'll talk about, they may be talking about their health. They may be talking about they want to improve their golf swing, or that they want to go, climb Kilimanjaro. But my favorite question of all time is really, what are your goals for this year? What are you looking forward to do? If I'm at a weird networking event, like it's like charity event, and I'm at the awkward moment where we're all sitting at the table that we've been assigned or not assigned, we just kind of, got our food and sat at the table together. Like we did at Grant Cardone, right? We're sitting in his investor meeting and we're all there and we're sitting at the table. My first thought is, what do you do? Yeah, I know I'm in a room full of business owners. You know what I know about business owners? They want to tell me what they do. Show of hands, business owners, if you love talking about your business, what you love, it's your passion, right? So I would say it depends on the room, but usually a high net worth person is going to want to talk about their goals or their room. But if you're in a high net worth area and you're at, let's call it a kids event. It's a kids event. It's a hockey event, right? Hockey's not cheap. So your kids are spending hundreds of dollars on hockey equipment. All the other parents are spending hundreds of dollars on hockey equipment. You may be talking about hockey. Show of hands if that makes sense. The context of the room really dictates what you're talking about. So it isn't necessarily relative to their riches that you talk about. It's relative to their interests. Does that make sense, Serena? Let's give Dorina a round of applause. Great, great question. And she's the queen of building rapport with people at all levels. Let's take another question. Go ahead, Billy. I see you, man. You rocking back and forth. You've been crushing. You ready to say something?
I'm going, man. I'm going. Always good to see everybody. Yeah, it's just obviously every time I'm on this call, and I'm sure we all have the same experience, you reflect the principle in your own life, right? That's what's beautiful about principles is they're not individualized. They're showing up in each and one of our lives. And I had a great fortune of working with some of the most successful financially people on Long Island for many, many years. They became my dearest friends. And just to kind of reaffirm the lesson that you taught, I think is so great. It's just a different energy towards the money. Like they do. They buy at speed. They understand that their money is nothing more than an accelerator tool that I think I put in the chat. And this kind of like is a good segue to even what Jarena was asking, is sometimes we think that people are of a higher financial status, multimillionaire, billionaire. We put them in this pedestal, but we forget they're still human, right? Like that hockey dad, like you talked about, he just wants to see his son or his daughter thrive. They're having the same thoughts that we are, just at a very different level. And doesn't mean better level. They're going through the same emotional challenges that maybe we are, right? So the best way to really, I think, to connect with multi-millionaires is remember they're human, right? They are. They want the next win. And our wins might be 100K, theirs might be 100 million. It doesn't matter. So really, I think, again, I'm kind of going all over here because I love this principle so much. But it's even as we're trying to get around rich people and wealthy people, they're just like you. They want human connection. They want to feel seen, validated, heard. What their challenges are, they don't want to be seen differently. Some of my best friends are worth 200 million. Like they're just like us. They want to text you and see how things are going. Like when you humanize them, that's what they want because they're used to people giving the generic conversations. They're used to their employees kissing their butt. I'm telling you, they want to feel like they're human. So that's my 2 cents. But yeah, I love this principle. Like absolutely. And they buy speed. And like what Walter said, they have a beautiful shield. They have an armor around them where they're not going to let their goals not be done 100%. This is why VIP is so, VIP tickets are so important in any level of business because it creates a barrier. There's first class in a plane for a reason. Like understand the psychology of wealth and you'll never live the same. Love you all.
Give Billy Reuter a round of applause. I got good news, actually, now that you mentioned VIP tickets. It's not quite VIP tickets, so it's not that great. But Mastermind, everybody who jumps into the Mastermind this week is getting access to the summit. You're getting executive tickets. So general tickets are $200, executive tickets are $500. By the way, executive tickets are all sold out because we put them aside for our Mastermind members. So everybody who is in the mastermind, you're getting executive tickets. If you already are in the mastermind, now you know. And if you are joining the mastermind, as long as they are available, you'll be getting access to the executive tickets. If all the executive tickets do get used, we will be giving you general tickets, and I apologize for you not being the first to jump in. So I can't control it, but you're absolutely right. That is the VIP tickets are very important because we do an extra day. At the summit, we do an extra day with our VIPs. So everybody else, the summit starts October 18th to the 19th in Orlando. Buy your tickets now, book your flights now, get your hotel now, because it is much more affordable now than it is the day before or the week before. Also, the event itself, the VIPs are meeting on the 17th. We get together for a full extra day and we talk about scale. We talk about leadership. We talk about management. We talk about scaling up. So VIPs are a special group, and we spend a little bit extra time together on that 17th. More questions. Let's give Billy one more round of applause. Gary Aker, we hung out last night. We played Catan. Gary, who won last night?
Well, I I think there was some cheating going on there, to be honest. So Thurbin should have been the winner since he was new to the game. But uh anyway, so I want to say somebody, you brought it up at the beginning about your church and saying that money is the root of all evil, which is actually a misquote. It's the Bible says that the love of money is the root of all evil. And I think that what really is important about this principle is what you've brought to us is not that we love money, but we love what money can do and how that money can affect the world and the good that we can do in the world with money. And this is one thing that I think, I mean, some of people that the people that love the money the most are sometimes the people that don't have very much of it because they get the money and they just want to hang on to it and hoard what little bit of money that they have. And so they never put that money to use. They won't let it go. They won't put their money to work for them. They won't spend money to educate themselves. They won't spend money to invest in things like that. And they end up being, very poor people, always grabbing for every last straw that they can get. And those are some of the people that really love money. And I think that that's what the Bible's talking about when it says that. When we love what the money can do, then we become the go-givers, if you will. We become people that are always looking to put our money to use to do good in the world, to help other people. We become generous. And these are the principles of the Bible that the Bible's talking about. If you remember, there was a rich man who brought a bunch. He went and he gathered all of his. He had like a bumper crop and gathered all of his crops. And he's like, "What am I going to do? All of my buildings are full with everything that I can have. What will I do?" And he said, "You know what? He came to the conclusion, I am going to tear down all my buildings and build bigger buildings so I can keep all of this stuff." And that the parable, and God said to him at the end of the day, "You're a foolish man because tomorrow you're going to die." And so the principle was that it wasn't wrong for him to get all that stuff. It was wrong for him to hoard all that stuff and not put it to use and do good things in the world with it. And so I think that that's the principle here is love money, love what money can do for us. Don't love the money so much that you get it and you want to grab it and hold it. But when you get it, you want to do good things with it. And that's what we love.
Wow. Let's give Gary Aker a round of applause. What a powerful share. Got me thinking about money and how I've operated and where I've been good with it and where I feel like I was hoarding and holding on to it super tight. I get asked often, why do I lend? Why do I lend money? And I also borrow money. Why do I borrow money when I lend money? Like, why do I lend when I borrow? And the answer is because I like to keep money moving. Keep money moving, keep money flowing, keep it going. If I have money in my account and somebody brings me a deal, I'm going to invest in the deal to keep the money moving. And if a deal comes to me and I don't have money in my account, I'm going to borrow the money and I'm going to keep the deal going. I'm going to keep the money moving. It is natural that great deal doers will borrow, will lend, will do the deals just because the deal is where the money needs to flow and it needs to keep going. So I love that. It's fantastic. When you invest whatever you have, invest and invest whatever somebody else has. There's no reason to stop investing just because you have it. Don't sense the end isn't just because your bank account's empty. I get asked all the time, well, I don't have money, so I can't invest. Should I invest buy real estate right now? I don't have any money. Yes. Right. You know what the secret to buying real estate with no money down is? Show of hands if you know it. I've said it before. The secret to buying real estate with no money down is to have no money and still buy the real estate. Rich Jorsky, let's go.
You make it sound so simple.
Didn't you just buy a property with no money down?
I did. Oh my God, what happened to my green screen? It's falling over. Doesn't look pretty anymore. Anyway, yeah, I did, but part of that is reputation. So like there's some, I think, highlights to add in regards to Sam Zell's book. Because big thing he talks about is reputation. He talks about skin in the game, right? So we have two different directions. Gary's just talking about how, put money to use, right? And not, essentially hoarding money. And one of the ways to put money to use and make people comfortable investing with you is to have skin in the game. If you have that option, if you have the money, like if you put skin in the game, that makes it so easy to get people to invest with you. So like, all right, he has something to lose also. So now he's, really invested in this, right? He's got invested interest. And the other side of that is if you don't have money, then what are you working off of? You're working off reputation, which is also one of the other big three things he talks about in his book, right? And his reputation was pretty stellar. He was definitely that old school type of character. And that's why really a lot of people don't know him because he didn't self-promote, right? You never really saw him social media. It wasn't until later in life and when he was essentially retired where, doing books and doing podcasts and things like that. So all right, how do I get a good reputation if I'm not doing deals? Well, it doesn't mean you need to have a good reputation in terms of investing. You can have a good reputation in terms of just someone you know. So, like you mentioned, my last deal, I borrowed all the money. Like first time I didn't put any money in one of my deals. Got literally walked away with a check actually to put towards reno because they lent me more than I needed to buy it. That was based on reputation. Someone that I'd known on and off for, I don't even know, probably 5 years. We have a mutual friend that he trusts very much. And, you know, based on my reputation and just whatever camaraderie I had with him, he was comfortable making that move, right? So no skin in the game on this one. Purely based on reputation, right? But not even based on like me as a real estate investor, just me as a person and my relationship with them and just, the knowledge he knows I have, right? We never even talked about deals I've done and things like that. He just knows I've been doing real estate for, X number of years and that's it, right? So it's always like one or the other or both, right? It's great to have both, but when you're starting out, you don't, right? When you're starting out, you usually don't have skin in the game. It's like I have no money. So what do you do at that point? You build a reputation, and that doesn't have to be just straight in terms of my reputation in investing, just my reputation as a good person that holds their word, right? And there's people in your circle and in your life that you already have those relationships with, right? That are willing to take a chance on you or invest, in you. So just keep that in mind and that can get the ball rolling. And then, when you do have capital, then put some skin in the game. It's the easiest way to get people to say yes because they're like, oh, okay. So, and that's something me personally, I look at when you look at like bigger deals, so to speak. Because when it comes to bigger deals, at that point, the people should be experienced and have some money. If they're not putting any of their own money in it, a lot of times I'm like, I don't know. But if they have some skin in the game, I'm like, all right, even if it's just a little bit, on these bigger deals, you're talking about like, multi-million dollar deals. And it's like, at least if they're putting in as much as an LP, it's like, all right, cool. Like, so if you lose 50 or 100 grands, like, or if I do, so do you. All right. So just food for thought. But these are things that Sam Zell talks about in his book, Skin in the Game, reputation, and one of the big things I liked was he talks about like lessons and not looking back. He jokes and says his head, he can't look all the way back. And basically what he meant by that is like he doesn't dwell on the past. He kind of takes like the Ray Dalio approach where you basically like Ray Dalio has a formula. It's called pain reflection equals progress. So it's like you have the mistake, you know, whatever, have the pain from it, you reflect on it, right? What can I learn? And then boom, you move forward and that's it. And you're not looking back anymore. So that is my rant and some additions to Sam Zell's book. Am I being too subtle?
Let's give Mitch Jorsky, the Scared Cat Guide to Real Estate Investing, a round of applause. That is the Q&A session. So we do have an opportunity for salespeople right now. If you would like to earn anywhere between $4,000 to $8,000 a month selling a program that builds millionaires, please contact us. What is, Gary, the easiest way to contact us if somebody's looking to jump into the sales team? You're muted, but I see you thinking. You're thinking with your eyes and your mouth. You're still muted.
It's actually a good question. Probably right now, just send an email to events@alchemistnation.com and we'll get it from there.
Awesome. Events@alchemistnation.com. Join the sales team. I'm looking to build some millionaires. I'm looking to hand you leads. Of course, I want you to serve them, add value, only sell to people who want to do their deals morally, ethically, legally, who want to invest for the long term, and who you like. Do not, listen to me, do not sell the mastermind to somebody you don't like. Because if you don't like them, I'm not going to like them. Show of hands if you agree. Only sell to people you like. Perfect. In that case, I'm looking forward to working with each of you. This is an opportunity that could lead to a life-changing experience. The sales team is something I will be spending a lot of time on, pouring into over the next few weeks to make sure that our sales team make a lot of money. I would really like to make sure that our sales team is the highest paid sales team in the country or in our space. The link is events at alchemistnation.com. That is the email. If you're interested in the sales team, for sure, we want to help you. If you don't have sales skills, we will train you. You just have to have the guts to be rejected by people who you're trying to help. Show of hands if you understand. That's the name of sales. That's how it goes. Right? I don't get it as much now because people know who I am, but still, I will send a message to somebody and they'll be like, yeah, no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in your mastermind. I'm like, you're not interested in being a millionaire? Like, no, I just don't want to, I just want to pay programs. Shit, I get it, man. But who hurt you? What happened? Well, I bought this program for $30,000, and I didn't get rich. So, okay, I get it. I do get it. I understand. You want to jump on a call anyway? Let's talk. Let's let's figure this out. All right. Just because somebody else's program doesn't get what my program does, that's okay. Their program didn't tell you they're going to build you into a millionaire. Their program didn't track your net worth. Their program didn't force you to buy real estate, didn't surround you with these millionaires who are telling you their success stories. My program's different. My program was built to build millionaires. It wasn't built to teach stuff. It was built to build millionaires. Show of hands, if you're tired of education and you just want to get results, yeah, me too. I'm tired of coaches. I love my coaches, by the way. Love my coaches. But I'm tired of coaches who just coach, right? My coaches, they will help you get to the $1 million. That's what they do, right, Heather? You go and get them to the $1 million, right, Billy? That's what you do. It's you're focused on it, right? That's right. Michelle, yes. Focused on the results. Focus on how to get to the results. My team, Greg LeBlanc, right there, submitted 8 offers this week. 8 offers so we can invest with our community, invest with Alchemist Station. We want you to invest with us. We want to invest with you. So some of you are like, man, I can't invest right now. That is why we run the 52 weeks to wealth. That is why we're here. It's to help you increase your income. The sales team, I think, is going to be a great opportunity for each of you who could use a little extra capital, wants to hang out with high net worth individuals, wants to raise capital yourself, want to find more off-market deals, sell somebody into our mastermind. We'll teach them for you. We will take them along the way and they'll invest with you. Show of hands if you'd love more partners in your own business. Yeah. So sell somebody into our mastermind, we're going to make sure that they become exactly the kind of person you want to do business with. The only people in the mastermind are the people who do their deals morally, ethically, and legally. I had a guy the other day, had the money, but I didn't like him. I straight told him, I was like, bro, you mean you claimed bankruptcy and you still are not going to go and pay your student loans? And he said, yeah, there's no reason to. I was like, man, I'm not going to teach you how to raise capital. Fuck you. I straight told him. He was like, what do you mean? I was like, you don't do things morally, ethically, and legally. It's moral to pay all your debts, right? It's moral to pay all your bills. That's ethics. That's morals. And why would I teach you how to raise capital if you can't pay a bank? Well, the odds are you're not going to pay a person. So I told him, no, you're not. I'm not going to sell to you. And I just had to kick a guy out of the room over here. He's trying to spam the chat. Anybody see that dude spamming the chat with like links and stuff? Just delete. I don't need to ask questions. You need to, like, if you don't respect the room, gone. Show fans, if you're here to get some results for yourself or for some other people, awesome. I love each and every one of you. Give yourselves a big round of applause. I know it's not easy to post content, but let me tell you about today. Today is Mother's Day. Please say something sweet about your mother. Post a picture of her. If she's not with us anymore, post a story or a memory of a time that you felt good about her. And maybe call her up, tell her she's special. I don't get to spend my Mother's Day with my mom anymore, but I used to. Well, she's alive. I don't want to say it that way. I used to take my mom out to breakfast every on Sundays when it was her Mother's Day. So I will be giving her a call, even though she and I don't get along or see eye to eye. Today is still Mother's Day, and it's a special day. And so for each of you, regardless of how you feel about your mother, if you feel great about her, please, make sure she knows that. And if you don't, hey, you know what? Not everybody's perfect, and you still gotta love them anyway. Like my dad tells me all the time, she's still your mother's son. You still gotta respect her. You still gotta love her. They don't get along either. They divorced years ago. But my dad still tells me what it's the right thing to do. Right, contact your mom, spend some time with her, especially. And I see some of the women on here. Let's give all of our mothers a round of applause. Amazing moms in this room. Amazing, amazing, amazing moms. I love each and every one of you. Cheers to success. We have a choice. Always work with the best. Next week is Wealth Principle 29. Own 100% of your results. Book of the week is Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. If you have not read the book, this book is going to mess you up. You may find yourself running in the rain for no reason, just to be tough, just to be a badass. Like I said, I love each and every one of you. Cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best.